if you've ever tried to be perfect when it comes to your nutrition, you probably know how quickly that fades away, especially as squad members who want long-term results, better performance, a healthier relationship with food. It's not a lack of willpower. It's when people try and get locked in on their nutrition, their first step is taking things away and restricting themselves instead of trying to find the habits and form the discipline required in order to keep yourself on track most of the time. So really, I want to start off by talking about the difference between discipline and food restriction. Food restriction is driven by rules. Maybe you're fearful of falling back or just avoiding things that you know are maybe trigger foods that you know you're going to overeat. What it usually sounds like, what I usually hear is people saying, I can't eat carbs, I have to cut out sugar completely, and I had a bad weekend, so during the week I have to be on track. I can't have any, flexibility in my eating. Restriction focuses on what you're not allowed to eat, and it relies on you being extreme. Like I said, cutting out entire food groups, cutting down your calories because you maybe had an enjoyable weekend. And the worst thing, I think, is labeling foods as good or bad. And the reason this doesn't work and reason why most people fail is because it's going to increase your cravings and food obsession. I know if I tell myself I'm not allowed to have candy, I'll be good for maybe a week or two, but then I'm going to crack and go buy like a 10-pound bag of candy and eat the whole thing in one shot. Most of the time it fails because you get hungry, right? You're disrupting your whole routine, and the fullness that you're used to from having maybe the foods that aren't the best for you, you disrupt it by taking those food out. Now you're extra hungry, and your hunger cues get way stronger and way louder than you thought they could ever be, which really often leads to, like I said, binge and restrict cycles. You cut yourself off for a while and then you jump back in. But the difference would be, like, the thing you want to do is go into nutritional discipline, which sounds more like you choose foods that support your goals most of the time. It's skill-based. You're being intentional. It allows you to be flexible. You plan ahead with the environment that's going to work for you, right? And when you do have those foods that maybe are not going to be pushing you towards your goals, you do it on purpose and not by accident. You have the enjoyable food. For me, I allow myself to get fast food or go out to eat once per week. I'm intentional with that because I don't want it to be something where I'm like starving and I don't know what to do. And I'm just like, all right, I'm just going to go out and eat, because then I'm going to go crazy and go to like 2 or 3 different places, right? Discipline isn't about perfection. It's about creating consistency and making your decisions aligned with your goals. And some key characteristics of nutritional discipline is going to be focusing on habits and not rules, right? You're prioritizing fueling your body for performance, recovery, and your overall health. The most important thing is that it allows for flexibility without feeling guilty, and you get to build awareness of like maybe some trigger foods or foods that you know you run to when you're feeling a certain type of way, instead of just being fearful and guessing every single day. Discipline is sustainable because it adapts with your life. So I wrote down some like quick comparison. Food restriction is avoidance based. It's all or nothing. You have a short-term focus. It's guilt driven. You feel guilty when you restrict foods, and then you break whenever you're stressed out. Nutritional discipline, on the other hand, is choice based. It's flexible and consistent. You have a long-term focus. How can I make this a long-term change that happens? It's goal-driven. Again, that long-term focus allows you to move towards your goals, and as well as it's going to hold you up under stress. Allowing yourself to have those moments where you can break, you can do something other than just be on track, is going to allow you the freedom, and not just nutritional freedom, but mental freedom to keep yourself on track. And as a squad member, your goal isn't just fat loss or just to look good and tone your body. It's about building strength, confidence, developing your energy, and having longevity in this process that you're going to. Having nutritional discipline is going to support your training performance. It's going to improve your recovery as well as your hormone health because you're having balanced meals. It's going to reduce the amount of fatigue that you have mentally around food. It just makes choosing the foods that you eat easier. And it's going to create results that are going to last way longer than any challenge or phase that we go through. So last up, I want to give you some actionable steps that you can take this week in order to develop your nutritional discipline. So number one is going to be anchoring every meal with protein, right? Become protein aware. That's what I like to tell people. Become protein aware with the meals that you're having. If it's eggs in the morning, say you have 2 eggs. Okay, can you have a 3rd egg? Can you add liquid egg whites so that you can get more protein in there? With the meals that you're enjoying, can you make sure that there is a protein component, whether it's chicken, fish, tofu, lean beef, or even like adding another protein shake? Do a double scoop. Number 2 is planning one step ahead. Plan one decision ahead. So each day, ask yourself this question: what is your next meal or snack? And then back to number 1, how can I get protein into that meal or snack? Number 3 is going to be practicing intentional flexibility, allowing yourself 1 or 2 meals a week, 1 meal a day that you can treat yourself with, that you can genuinely enjoy. Eat them slowly, don't feel guilty, and just move on. Because when you can plan out those treat meals, you stop falling into spirals. That was fun. My camera died. So like I was saying, food restriction asks you, what do you have to give up? It's very limiting. It doesn't allow you any flexibility in this journey that you're on. While nutritional discipline asks, what supports the life and body that you're building? What does a real life look like? And how can I discipline my nutrition in order to support that life that I'm living? So squad, don't chase the extremes. Build systems, build systems in place with your grocery shopping, with what you're putting into your fridge, what you're putting into your body. Develop habits so that no matter what's going on in life, you can keep yourself on track. And that will give you the confidence that you need to move forward, knowing that no matter what you're putting into your body, it's not only going to be good for you, in terms of moving toward your goals, but it's also going to be good mentally so that you can develop and show up for yourself consistently, even when life is busy. So choose discipline because your future self is going to thank you. Remember, y'all, it's not hard. It's simply fitness.